She's got to go to Sports Center soon, so we better get to it. Ramona Shelburne joins us live. Hey, Momo, how are we doing today?
What's up? I'm getting, you know exactly where I am. I'm getting off the freeway here, right by LAX. I'm driving over to Intuit Dome right now, early for this game, but that's how we do it with those 3 o'clock Sports Center hits.
Getting off the freeway is a beautiful phrase when you're in LA. That means
I made it.
You made it.
Survived the 405.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that kind of journey, that's kind of what the Warrior season has been as well, and we'll see if they get off the freeway tonight. You tell me, though, we know the question everyone's playing with today. In your mind, is it better for the Warriors to win or lose this game?
I'm a big basketball gods person, so I don't tempt them. So I know all the reasons why it's better for them to lose, but I believe in the basketball gods, and so I will always say it's better to win.
And the basketball gods, would they be shining upon Steph Curry tonight, coming back with this runner's knee? If there is a basketball god, is he going to be able to be healthy and have a good game?
I think so. Listen, let me see and set for you. I was here a couple nights ago with a game 82, which was like the third game in a row that meant absolutely nothing for the Warriors, right? And it was like, I don't know how you guys keep doing this. You're locked into the 10 spot. That's it, right? But it was sad, poignant, whatever you want to call it. Like, Steph Curry's on the court and he's getting his pregame warm up in, and like, for as long as I've covered these Warriors, I always make sure I'm on the court for Steph's pregame warm-up because it's if you're a basketball person, you just got to be there for that, right? He's so joyful and he has so much fun out there, and it's just a show to see, right? So he's going through, and I noticed something I've never seen before. He looked like he was winded, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen Steph winded. Obviously in the heat of battle or something, but like he's still getting into shape. Like, he's not all the way back yet, and he was pushing himself. And then Jimmy Butler, hobbles onto the court, and there's this part, you probably saw some videos of this, where Steph kind of starts dancing near the key, and he's like, maybe it was like, I would call it the sprinkler, kind of something like that, right? It's the dance. And he finds Jimmy kind of by the three-point line, and he tosses him a pass, and Jimmy gets up a shot, and he's trying not to re-injure his knees, and I was kind of like, I always watch Steph trying to find the basketball joy because that's all he plays. That's the essence of Steph Curry. And, you could see he was enjoying it, and Jimmy kind of laughed, and he made a little bet with the Warriors staffer, if you have me shooting threes, I can hit them, And I was like, I don't know if they're laughing to keep from crying, this didn't seem like basketball joy. This is just like, oh, man, this is our life, this is what we're doing right now. And he was torn, surgically repaired knee, and Steph out here huffing and puffing to get back. And, after the game, Steph did, another – he must have done – it must have been an hour. He did another, hour workout. And he came into the locker room. We're all standing there waiting because it was that early start on Sunday night. And we're waiting. All right, come on, let's go home, Steph. We're waiting for you. And he comes back in, and he's like, he got a whole other workout in. And then he had to go get some more treatment afterwards. And I'm like, oh, this guy's doing every single thing possible for the next 3 days to get his wind back, to get his legs back, to do whatever. And, I admire it. You're playing for the right to go lose to the Thunder in the first round.
Yep. Ramona, what you're talking about, which kind of sounds like an NBA old folks home, is I think what Warrior fans are grappling with, because people get the whole everything for Steph thing that the Warriors trumpet, but how much longer does it, in your mind, make sense for them, or how do they navigate those clear realities that you're talking about, but also the desire, maybe even the need, to kind of do right by Steph?
I just think you have to do right by Steph. It's not even a question for me. He's just so important to your franchise. You got to give him a chance to win. You got to play all the way out. You got to play it all the way out. That doesn't mean you should do stupid things, okay? But I do think that you just got to keep giving him chances. I love that they traded for Porzingis. Good. Get him some talent. I don't know if it'll work, but it's an easy swing, You got him a guy who's one of the best ceiling raisers in the NBA. I don't know if he can stay healthy, but if he can, he gives him a better chance, than then the two guys, I mean, they weren't playing Kuminga, so there's no reason to keep him if you're not going to play him. And then, Buddy Hield's a nice, culture guy, but Porzingis is a more important player. So just keep giving him chances. I think that, I came from where I got to know each other down in LA when Kobe was here his last few years. I totally fine with him giving that last contract because he's the show. That's a reward. He was out with an Achilles injury. They gave him a 2-year extension. It sounds silly by our definition now. I think it was $24.8 million a year. I remember it being and everybody ripped him for it. Remember that? I'm like, God, I can't believe you gave him that deal. It was literally like less than $25 million a year, right? It was ridiculous. But it was totally worth it. What are we talking about here? This is Steph Curry. It's the house that Curry built. You should give him a piece of Chase Center. That's how important he is. They won't. Okay, I'm not. After retired. Okay, but like that's how important Steph is. I don't like. What are you going to do? Trade him to Charlotte? Come on. Like this is not unless he wants that. And I don't think he does. I think he wants to retire a Warrior.
Yeah, we all hope that that's the case, and Mark and I both believe that too. Ramona Shelburne, ESPN here on 95.7 The Game. So you talked about doing it for Steph and the big swings. What do you think about the possibility of LeBron James in the summer deciding A, to leave, and B, deciding to come here on the relatively cheap?
I mean, to quote Russell Westbrook, why not?
Okay.
I mean, I think they're going to get right back in the mix for Giannis. I think they're going to get right back in the mix for Kawhi Leonard. Remember they made a call back then? I think they'll get right in the mix for LeBron. I think they're, name an aging star out there who might be available. I think the Warriors will try. And now, name a young star out there who might be available. I think the Warriors will try there, too. They're just – I think they're relatively predictable. They're just going to keep taking swings. And the thing I have to give them credit for is they haven't really done anything demonstrably stupid. They're in pretty good shape cap-wise. They're in pretty good shape draft pick-wise. I don't think there's much you could argue with in terms of how they've continued to try to take these swings for Steph.
Do you think LeBron is definitely playing next year?
Oh, I keep saying yes because he's playing so well, and he doesn't feel like a guy who's about to retire, but just, I don't know. Like literally anything could happen. You could tell me in a month that he just says I'm done. But I don't see that. Everything I'm around, everything I see with him, he seems like a guy who wants to keep playing. Or he certainly can. Still really good. I was saying this on TV the other day. You could not have written a better hero moment for him right now. It's all eyes on LeBron.
Yep.
This is all you got. I don't think they're going to beat Houston without Austin and Luka, but there's a chance Luka could come back if you can extend the series to 5 or 6, 7 games. There's a chance. I don't know if it's even a good idea with that hamstring, but you guys lived through that with Steph's hamstring last year in that Minnesota series, right?
Yeah.
If they can extend it, maybe 7, and it's like, no, just what are you doing? But there's a chance. I don't think there's any chance Austin Reeves can come back. Maybe way like conference finals or something. But if LeBron could get them to game 6 for a 7, and then Luka comes in for some Willis Reed moment,
right,
it's a heck of a Hollywood ending.
Yeah.
When you ask about the end, I don't know that LeBron cares that much about scripting the final ending or whatever it is, because he hasn't done any of the things you would expect. He hasn't done the farewell tour. He hasn't dropped his rhetoric. Doesn't sound like a guy who's about to retire. The way he's working doesn't sound like that. But we don't know all of his options yet. We don't know what he's thinking. My sense from him is always he really is settled here in Los Angeles. So he's had several opportunities to join the Warriors before. If he would have wanted that, he could have pushed. All he had to do was say yes, and I think they would have put the wheels in motion. But he has not done that yet. So that's how many more times are the Warriors going to put themselves out there? I don't know. I don't know that I would unless you had a firm yes from him.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just keep putting yourself out, I guess, if that's something you're looking for. My question, Ramona, is what's the level of dysfunctionality in the Lakers, and is it so bad that that's going to be what drives LeBron out?
I think they're good now. They had a real come to Jesus kind of March, like there was this, LeBron was out for a long time. Luka and Austin were really good together. It took a little, I don't know, it took a little doing to get him to see things a certain way and to buy into the role they had for him. But I think he got there, and he was magnificent in that role. Like, he led the NBA in fast break points, you guys. That's unbelievable for a 41.
41.
For a 41-year-old player. Oh. Led the NBA in fast break points. And it's because he was just running out on the break all the time, and Luke would find him, and he was still dunking all the time and getting open in the corner. And I think he just saw the appeal of that, and he bought into it. He was flying all over the court defensively. If before that stretch, I would have said, I don't know if either side thinks it's a good idea. But if they can play like that, and get a real center, and get a really marquee center, that's not to say DeAndre is not a real center. He's a center, okay? He's just not consistent, and he's not, can they get an all-star? I don't know, but can they get somebody who's more consistent or a better fit with Luka? Probably. Can they get a defensive guy like a Lou Dort? They certainly have the cap space this year. They just got to answer a few more questions about how much is Austin really going to get? How much, if LeBron stays, how much do you give him? Those are important questions before you get to filling out the roster. But I don't know. I think this season for the Lakers, because of the two injuries and the way they happened, it feels very incomplete to me. And sucks.
No, I'm sorry. Finish it. Go ahead.
No, it just sucks for LeBron for where he is in his career. It sucks for Luka. For the year he was having, for Austin Reeves, who I don't think this actually affects his free agency. I think there's plenty of teams that want to give him money, but injuries are part of the game. But this is for an all-time great to have an ending like this. I don't see it.
Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. We know you got to run. I want to get two quick things from you before you go. Sure. Number one, what kind of chances do you give the Warriors tonight?
When they have Steph, there is always a chance. So I'm fully prepared for them to win or lose. I think the Clippers should be favored just because of how good they've been, and they will have Kawhi Leonard tonight. He didn't play the other night because he got to his 65 games and he could take a night off. But they should be favored based on their record and based on how good they've been. But it's Steph Curry, man. I don't bet against guys like that.
Even a winded Steph Curry, right? And then here's the other one, and that is, let's say the Warriors either lose tonight or Friday. Let's say the math falls their way. Let's say they move up in this loaded draft into the top four. Is that yes, it has. Is that pick available for an aging veteran in the offseason?
Well, do you consider Giannis an aging veteran?
I do.
I think it should be. For him, it's not any aging veteran. That's Giannis Antetokounmpo, but I think it should be. The top 10 picks in this draft are amazing, but we've played that movie before. It didn't work out well, right? You just saw that movie. James Wiseman.
Too soon, Ramona. Too soon.
Sorry.
It's been like 5 or 6
No, but
years.
after what Denny Avdia did last night, Denny goes off, and it's like
I know.
The Warriors could have had a bunch of those types of guys.
What a perfect warrior, too. Denny Avdia would be a perfect warrior.
Boy, yeah.
His skill set is just like, Steve Kerr, you think Porzingis is a great skill set for the Steve Kerr offense. God, look at Denny Avdia, man. Oh, my God. That'd be an amazing fit. That's the fit of all fits.
By the way, Ramona, I lied. Wait, Steve Kerr, he's coaching again next year, right?
I think so. But what happens when you get – listen, this is my answer. I think so. But what happens when they all get in a room together and start talking? You don't know what's going to happen when they all get in that room together.
Yeah.
I think the Warriors are very respectful of Steve Kerr. I think it doesn't matter anyone else's opinion. Steve Kerr's feel for his own, role here and legacy is going to be, in my opinion, the most important thing. But you just don't know what happens when people get in a room. Sometimes things go weird, and you don't know what Steve's going to feel. Like I think I know him really well. I don't know how he's going to feel 4 days from now, a week from now. I don't know.
Ramona, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Enjoy the game, and we appreciate today.
Thanks, boys.
Okay. Ramona Shelburne right here on Willard and Dibs.